We've talked a lot on this channel how to grow your business and how to make ad accounts that are completely scalable and automated, and a lot of that has been predicated around e-commerce. And well, we're gonna do that again today with one of my favorite businesses, DadGang. Yeah, and if you know, you know. Look at that. Boom! Yeah. Little one on the way. So what if you don't need Facebook ads to help you push your volume of sales? Or more importantly, what if your CRM, if your newsletter, if your email, if your social media presence, maybe your Twitter account, is so good that you're not in a position where you need to start thinking about running Facebook ads because your drops are going so well? Well, that's phenomenal, but that's also a pretty, well, precarious place to be, because you're only ever going to reach your total addressable market, and there's no protection, there's no moat, and there's only so big you can get. Let's fix that. I've had a lot of folks come in through the Facebook Ads MBA program, by the way, scan that if you want to check out more information, and they've been successful companies, or they've been companies with high ticket items too expensive to sell regularly on Facebook. Or more importantly, they've been folks who excel dramatically at brand and positioning and newsletters and social media, organic, and running ads hasn't been something that they needed to do, but they know it's something they need to figure out to grow. And so today I felt like, why make you have to wait for the Facebook Ads MBA program? Let me show you something that I've done to help brands as small as mom and pop shops that struggle to spend $100 a day to massive 8-figure brands selling super high ticket items around the world. And we're gonna feature my friends here at DadGang today because I think they're in this amazing inflection point of massive growth with celebrity endorsers, and we're gonna show you that in a little bit. But also, it could all just go away tomorrow, and that's scary. And the simplest way to make sure that it doesn't all go away tomorrow, just like what we covered in the mini katana video, is to figure out how to run ads, because then you can manufacture demand. And we all love Google Shopping and Amazon, but those are only demand conversion platforms. They don't create intent. They just take existing intent and turn it into money. So today we're gonna break down the simple 3-step process to taking a business that doesn't need ads to being one that can leverage them to go further than they ever could on their own. This is gonna be super fun. Strap in your seatbelt, buckle up, and big shout out to all the dads out there, because this one's for you as a future father myself. And by the time you're watching it, it might not be future anymore. So this one hits super close to home, and I love what these guys are doing. And yeah, let's get to it, because this is gonna be fun. Now, before we get started, I want to mention 3 things. First, we're gonna build a 3-2-2 ad to leverage this. 2, we're gonna do stuff that nobody else is telling you should do. And I'm gonna use ChatGPT. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna show you the plugins that I'm using. And we're gonna do stuff that nobody else is talking about doing because, well, why not? Why not make success easier? This isn't the popular things to do because the popular kids haven't been told how to do it yet. They're gonna be watching this video and then selling this to you in 6 to 9 months. So let's cut out the middleman and give it to you for free today. All right, let's do it. Okay, first thing we want to do real quick, let me show you the brand, because I love DadGang, and I found out about them because I think they're a darling of the D2C space. And so let me show you how I found out about them, because this is actually going to be pillar number 1 of our ads today. So I found out them primarily through Twitter and going to live events and seeing the brand everywhere. And while I had a little bit of FOMO after seeing a couple folks, and then they put out one that was in black and gold, and clearly, like, you know, Steeler Nation, black and gold, gotta do it. So what I was amazed by what they were doing is really 3 things. 1, they nailed community down really well. They're able to talk in a style that their audience responds to, and that is incredibly difficult to get right for a lot of people. Also, they're able to do drops on a consistent basis. I love going through their content and just seeing them say, like, hey, look, drew up some some new stuff on Canva, come and get it. And it slaps. And it sells through, and it's amazing. And we did a great video on the Digital Marketing in 5 series, and you can see this video right here if you want to check it out, about what they're doing so well, them and La Crusette, and how you can leverage that for your Black Friday and a lot of other things. So they're doing some amazing things in the business. Now, having been in the space for a while, I've seen a lot of these brands come, and to be fair, I've seen a lot of them go, because what they're missing is the ability to capitalize on this ability to speak to their market and leverage it for the thing that they do well. They're not able to generate demand on demand outside of a meritocracy basis. And that's where ads really come into play. So what we're gonna do today is actually leverage what they do really, really well, alongside leveraging some of their celebrity athlete dad customers. And we're gonna use that to attract a whole bunch of attention to amplify the thing that they do well. We're gonna grow the business not by driving a sales campaign to a sales page to try to get a conversion rate that makes sense. We're gonna leverage hacking the value, volume, and cost of their sales funnel. And so with that being said, let me break down these 3 principles real quick. Now you have a sales funnel, right? And so you have a click from an ad or from anywhere, somebody that comes into your sales funnel. Let's say ultimately you get somebody's email address. Awesome. Now, from that email address, you're gonna get some opens, you're gonna get some people that are interested in what you have to do, and that ultimately leads to potentially a purchase. Great. Now, all purchases from any D2C company, or from really any brand, a big mistake people make is they say, well, I don't want to pay to acquire a customer twice. You never pay to acquire customers. You are acquiring transactions that have profitable customer journeys, hopefully. And if you start to look at business the right way, leveraging PSM instead of silly things like contribution margin, you notice that I got an email address to make a sale to then make it a lot easier to access LTV. And that's when we can get into PSM, right? That's when we start to say this LTV number is based off of how much does it cost to get them to do this, plus how much does it cost to produce the product, and how many times does somebody buy? Now, I'm not gonna share with you all of those numbers, but what matters when it comes to the value, volume, and cost is really something simple. Since we know the average DadGang hat costs about 35 bucks to purchase for a customer, all right. So we know the value of somebody at the second point is $35. Okay. Then we could say, on average, let's assume that 10% of folks buy 3 hats. Okay? Now we know their LTV. Now here's the interesting thing. Right now, getting somebody through this is free. But what if we paid for it? Well, if we know that, say, 1 out of 10 people that gives us an email address ultimately buys. Let's say it's a 10% conversion rate to keep the math easy. Well, then we also know, based on the value, volume, and cost, that a conversion here is worth 35 bucks. And roughly 10% of those people are ultimately worth 105. So there's some sort of lift in here, right, to an ultimate net number. That pans out to be, because 10% of them are worth 105, there's a $10.50 lift over the $35, which means the average customer's worth about 45 bucks. Awesome. And we know the volume, the conversion rate from this point to this point is 1 in 10. We also know that roughly the conversion rate of somebody from here to here is 1 in 10, which means that we understand the value, volume, and cost throughout this entire equation right now is that 1 out of 10 people reach here, 1 out of 10 people reach here, so 1 out of 100 people here ultimately end up down here. 1 out of 100 people is worth $4.50. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so now we have this, the value of each person in the spot, right? This person down here is worth 105. The average person, because of the volume of somebody that comes from here to here, is worth $45. And this right now is free, but because 1 out of 10 people makes it to be worth $45, this person is worth $4.50. Now, what if we could get them for $3? What if we can get them for 2 1/4? Well, if we can get them for 2 1/4, we could effectively 2x the ROI on getting that email address. Now, right now we're getting for free, but let's scale the shit out of this business on an automated basis in a way that is easily manageable. by setting up a 322 ads campaign, driving a conversion with a defined value of $4.50, because we know that this is worth $4.50 because of the volume of people that make it through. And if we can get our cost below $4.50, we basically can't spend enough money. So today we're gonna go ahead and leverage this simple equation and ultimately build out a 322 ad with a conversion objective, but not to drive a sale. And we're gonna then use that to power the size of this funnel. Plus, hey, why not leverage a little bit of catalog ads to bring down the overall cost and improve the conversion rate of somebody from here to here? Sound good to you? If we can get this person for less than $4.50, and because we run ads, we get, instead of 10 people buying 1 to 3, what if we get it to 8? Well, now this person was worth a lot more. This is how you actually funnel hack. Fun fact, to make this all work, we're never gonna worry about audiences. We're not gonna worry about cost caps or Advantage Plus. No, we want sustainable, scalable, projectable results. It's because as long as we can make this work, the worst thing we could do is disrupt the front end of the business. Because if we're buying the right type of attention with the right type of ads in a way that's basically scalable, in a way that's basically never gonna fatigue, because we're not using cost caps, we're not using Advantage Plus, we're not using audiences, we're using broad, lowest cost. Now we can just use a math equation. We got leads for X amount here. They got down here, we actually improved the second purchase rate because we're running DPA ads, and then boom, look at this. We're getting some stuff, plus we're getting some initial sales to this point that aren't reliant on this whole email funnel that's currently going on. So that's also pretty great, right? And to be fair, we can probably pay for this effort of growing this with the revenue we get from the DPA ads trying to drive this sale, or improve the second purchase rate to increase the likelihood of getting people to that touch point. That's what this is all about. We're going to use Facebook ads to amplify the already extraordinarily good CRM system and reduce our blended CPA and improve our SPR, which means we're going to have a better PSM, which ultimately means, hey, look, we have more money down here. Let's invest some of it up here. And as long as we don't change our ads or our audiences or do silly things like cost caps and Advantage Plus that produce ad fatigue and raise costs, the value, volume, and cost of this funnel is something that we can scale on autopilot with basically no work. So let's go ahead and build that. First step, let's go find some fun creatives. Now, full disclosure, I've already gone through and checked out some great creatives. And for the purpose of this, what we're gonna do is leverage some of these great images that they have of Dwayne Wade and Mookie Betts and Damian Harris. These are celebrity athlete dads. And to be fair, they're going to be celebrities for a long time. These are social media posts, so they're more or less free game. And this is just scratching the surface of user-generated content from celebrities. Do you understand how amazing of a resource it is to just use celebrities for free? Let's do it. And with that being said, we're now gonna go to step 2. And to be fair, these are scraped straight off the Instagram. These are pulled directly off the Twitter account. These are things that are already in-house. You can do this for your own brand or for a client's business by simply just going to say, who tagged us? Who mentioned us? And grabbing that creative. It really is that easy. A lot of times I'll go into brands and they're like, oh man, we have a $5,000 a month UGC budget. And I'm like, why? You have thousands of pictures of customers sharing their joy and the ownership of their experience with your brand. Why not just leverage that? And to be fair, shout out and credit where it's due. I think where I learned this from was about 10 years ago from a great company called Black Milk Clothing. And they're still crushing it. If you've ever seen Instagram posts of customers happy about a product, showing off what it looks like on them, you can thank Black Milk Clothing. I think they were the innovators of it. I might be dead wrong. Drop a comment down below if you can set me straight on that, because I've been giving them credit for a decade. All right, now let's get into how we're gonna write the copy for this, because great copy is absolutely essential. So, here's the ChatGPT prompt we're gonna use for this, and it's actually super easy because we already have the most difficult part of this equation solved for.
they can already write to their customers. So let's just leverage their voice and their vernacular, as well as their style of writing, to produce 5 Facebook ad headlines and 5 Facebook ad copy. And then we'll use another tool to validate to see which of those headlines are gonna get us the best click-through rate. So let's dive into this part of the process. I'm gonna share my screen here. Now we're gonna open up ChatGPT. We're gonna go to GPT-4 and we're gonna take our plugins. Now for this specifically, we're going to use Access Link. All right, so we turned it on. Boom, this can now read any links on the web and get any information that we need. So what we're gonna do is, because what DadGang does so well is already write to their customers, let's use the platform where they're already writing the most often in a way that has been most successful for their growth, Twitter. So we're gonna simply do this. Can you go to twitter.com/DadGangCo and then use that website, because again, it is a website, and use their voice and their vernacular as well as their style of writing to give me 5 Facebook ad headlines and 5 Facebook ads primary text. And let's just hit go and see what it comes up with. Access Link is now going to go to their Twitter account and start looking at how they write and breaking it down, and then going to give us back stuff in the format that we need and have clearly specified before. Now, to be fair, ChatGPT understands character limitations on Facebook ads. It's been trained by thousands or millions of users trying to get at them. It's probably millions. And what I love about this is that when you look at the responses given, I think these are just direct tweets. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it basically just went in and said, what are some of the best tweets? The great thing about tweets is they're actually already the right length for a primary text for a Facebook ad. And the calls to action, well, they're already short enough because the tweet isn't that long to use as a Facebook ad headline. So because DadGang is already tremendous at writing to their target audience, and because they already have proven success over and over and over again, we can just borrow what they've done in a way where ChatGPT is doing all of the homework for us. Now, to start off with, we have 5 Facebook ad headlines. Now, these are pretty solid. I recognize a couple of these as just straight up things that I've seen them tweet out more or less. So let's go ahead and begin to evaluate them using another tool that I love called vidIQ. Now, vidIQ is basically free. Now, what I love about vidIQ is it's a great way of seeing, if I use this set of copy as the title for a YouTube video, how well is it gonna do? Now, I know you're saying YouTube video, that's not a Facebook ad, but it kind of is. It's the big bold text below a creative. The same people are using the same thing. And if we already know that that's how people are looking for stuff for us on YouTube and Google, and we talk to folks in that same way on Facebook, which ultimately is just amplifying our existing funnel, do you think it's gonna be very difficult for us to get some banger headline? And ChatGPT already did all the hard work for us. Now, I asked for 5, it could easily be 500. But what we're gonna do today is just go through the 5 choices that we got and see which ones have the best results. So the first one we had was celebrating fatherhood 1 hat at a time. Cool, it's got a 22. So we have a smash hit out of the gate. More than just hats, it's a dad revolution. Now that's a 70. Anything that's in the green, I'll take it. Now, also, when we look at the ChatGPT responses for primary text, we do see that there are some similarities between the headlines and the primary text. So we've got a banger here with the more than just hats, it's a dad revolution. Sold out in 36 hours, don't miss out again. Also matches this, we started with 100 hats and they were gone in a flash. Dive into the collection and wear your fatherhood pride. These are pretty much in line. So let's leverage that. And we're gonna need 1 more primary text from Facebook. What matches more closely with the more than just hats, or also speaks to our ultimate CTA, which is gonna basically be giving us your email address. So when we do that, we can now start to take a look at every hat tells a story, the story of late nights, early mornings, and unforgettable moments. Be a part of the DadGang. Now this one to me looks great. And what I love is that it talks about the experience, It's also really diving into things without being too salesy. And it also talks about the variety of hats that are available because it is a drop. So you're not trying to buy the one thing, you're trying to sell the business. So I love these. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take these first two pieces of text as the headlines we're gonna use. And let's use these last two Facebook ad headlines as the ones we're gonna use. So, last step, let's just go ahead and build our 322 ad to scale the shit out of DadGang. All right, let's do it. So we're gonna open up the ads manager. We're gonna create a new campaign. This is gonna be a sales campaign. Let's go ahead and call this the DadGang CRM Builder, because that's really what it is. And for this specific ad set, we're gonna call it the Celebrity Athlete Dads, and let's go ahead and make it V1. Because if this works, we're probably gonna use it a lot. Now, to be fair, I'd probably also add in a date here and maybe even the folks that we're gonna feature, but I wanna keep this as generic as possible because my nomenclature might be different than yours. But if it were me, I would put in a code for the date and I would say who we were featuring inside of the creative. And this would be the same if it was celebrities, UGC, whatever the concept is. So with that being said, let's go one step further. We're gonna hit continue. Now you're gonna get the option, do we want advantage shopping? Hell no, we wanna make money. So we're gonna make it a manual sales campaign. So now this is coming in, and there are two other buttons we're gonna have to touch on here that I wanna call out really directly. First, we're gonna make sure that we use this advantage campaign budget option. We're gonna turn that on, and so for today, we're gonna simply do $50. Because our goal is to get these emails for $2.50, $2.25, and that easily gives us dozens a day, which means we can get out of the learning phase really cheap and easy. So now let's go to the ad set level and talk about the other thing that we need to do. So it's gonna be website, of course. Now, our conversion event is not gonna be a purchase, and we're gonna pick complete registration. Now, the reason we're doing that is because the complete registration, that's the pixel event that fires when you go to their website and you fill out the Klaviyo event. That's actually our conversion event because that is actually worth $4.50. So now all we have to do is build our ads. We're gonna continue. Now, if we come on down, we're gonna see audience controls. We're just gonna keep this United States. Everybody over the age of 18. Also for audience suggestions, we're gonna switch to original and we're just gonna keep it just like this. We're not gonna use Advantage Plus audiences. We're just gonna keep it broad. And let's go next. Fantastic. Now at this point, we're pretty straightforward. We've got Celebrity Athlete Dads. Awesome. And what we're gonna do is upload a couple images. Now, because we've selected dynamic creative at the ad level, because we're running a 322 ad, we're just gonna come in here and grab this image, and that image. Boom, boom, boom. So now we've got our three pieces of creative. This is a selfie with Dwayne Wade, a press shot with Mookie Betts from the Dodgers, and a great shot of Damian Harris, football star. Now we need primary text. Well, we already have the two that we're gonna use in our 322 ad. So we started with 100 hats and they're gone in a flash, awesome. And then we're also gonna use this, every hat tells a story. Now, mind you, when you're using ChatGPT, get rid of these little quotation marks at the end of things. It's such a simple little mistake, but so many people make it, including myself. So double check your work. So that one that we loved because it really matched also the rest of the creative and met our needs based on the CTA of trying to get people to sign up. And we also have this one which had a 70 on vidIQ. So we've got something that basically really closely matches our business objective and something that is going to respond very well to the market, which means we're gonna have a great creative test here as well. Are we gonna have a better CTR? Are we gonna have something that really drives the end result? Or are we gonna have something that's really good in how people use it? Depending on whether or not this shows at the top of the funnel or mid funnel, based on the 4PI analysis. Again, if you don't know about 4PI, go ahead and check out this video up here. We're gonna understand how Facebook is using this and then be able to make copy decisions later on to see which ones do we want to include, what pivots do we need to make so that we can make our next 322 ads even stronger. And with that being said, all we need to do is at the website, which is dadgang.co. We don't need to get any further down the funnel than that because we just want people to use the experience they're already using. We don't need to change their funnel. And we might at some point want to test what landing page we bring in, but we don't need that right now. We're doing a super low budget, and it might take a week or two for the cost per lead or cost per email acquired to get in below that $4.50 level, but they might also convert at a much higher level. So we're gonna be able to track this through the funnel to see, is it still 1 out of 10 people or is it 1 out of 5? If it's 1 out of 5, we can pay $9 for it. And is this person's AOV the same as before? Or do they just go ahead and buy 3 hats right away? And while we're running this, alongside of it, we're gonna build a catalog campaign outside of this, which I won't show today, but if you wanna see it, let me know. Drop it in the comments if you wanna see me build one. We're gonna do a DPA ad and really just focus on the lowest funnel action with, say, 10,000 things. So that might be add to cart in the last 7 days. That'll be tremendous to pick up more sales. Again, to improve the conversion rate of somebody just buying one, or for people that bought one to potentially buy more than one and improve that LTV, second purchase rate, PSM, get more revenue with which to invest in the growth of more people to go through this entire funnel. That's how you scale a business. That's how all of this works. Now, the beautiful thing is when we push go and publish this thing and make it go live, not only are we gonna see more traffic, which is great, but we're gonna see direct sales from this. Like, people are gonna click on this and buy, so that's gonna mitigate some of the costs. We're also gonna fill some of that funnel for that catalog ad, and most importantly, we're gonna get a new source of email addresses where we can decide to increase or decrease our spend depending on how expensive they are and the value, volume, and cost of those email addresses through the existing funnel to ultimately scale this business, even if the organic efforts aren't working out. Or if we get busy as dads and aren't able to tweet out as often as we were, we can now spend money to do that work for us. And this effort isn't gonna fatigue. This effort is only ever gonna get smarter. And we can improve the conversion rate on the website to get the email addresses if we want to. We can treat these people slightly differently in our email flows to improve their conversion rate if we want to. This is now basically a completely separate funnel that amplifies the existing operations of the business by leveraging what they do well to generate more money by creating demand on demand at a profit. That's how you scale Facebook. All right, if you have any other questions, please ask them down below. And as always, I know you can be literally anywhere on the internet right now, but you've chosen to be here with me. And for that, I want to say thank you. There's a QR code if you want to know more about the Facebook Ads MBA program, where I teach all sorts of fun stuff like this. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet. All right? Go to DadGang, pick up some stuff. And to all the parents out there, dads and moms, keep up the great work. I'll see you later. Bye.